Hey everybody, my name is Andrew, and today we're on the set of my teaser trailer, The Keeper's Diary, a Biohazard story, and I'm joined by three absolute legends, Charlie, Eric, and Greg, who all play some of your favorite characters in the original Resident Evil that was released for the PlayStation in 1996. Let's get started. So first off, why don't you guys all kind of introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Charlie, and I played Chris Redfield.
G'day, I'm Greg, and I played Barry Burton.
Eric, I played Wesker.
Okay guys, so what is it like being able to once again enter the world of survival horror and stepping back into these roles?
For me, I mean, it's just like a dream come true. Over the years, have been contacted by a lot of fans, who ask questions about the filming, but I was always kind of hoping to be able to reprise my role in some way. So this is very exciting.
Oh, for me, it's a lot of fun as much as anything. I really enjoyed the role of Barry Burton. It was something I'd never done before, and it was a good experience. And to have the opportunity to get back again at it was something I've always wanted to do. And also to meet Eric and Charlie again is great after 25 years.
Yeah, after 25 years, it did seem like we, saw each other last week. You know what I mean? There was no getting to know you or nothing. It was just right back to the things you remember. And getting back into this world, I would say I'm getting into it for the first time. I didn't really know what was out there surrounding Resident Evil and what it meant to people, and I've learned that over the last few years. Letters I've received, Facebook, there's a lot of meaning here for a lot of people, and I respect that, and as much as I can, like to help, keep that going. And to participate in whatever way I can to make be of interest to others, and if somebody gets a kick out of what we're doing, I think that's awesome.
I kind of think if I'd realised how good it was when I was doing it, I would have really embraced it a lot more, because it was just something we were doing at the time.
It was just a job.
We really didn't know much about it either.
No, running around,
having a good time.
Smoke and lights and people yelling at you
and guns.
Don't forget the guns.
Guns are always fun. Yeah, so you guys haven't seen each other at all in
No.
25 years.
No.
Have you texted or Facebooked or anything? Or?
I think I'm friends with you on Facebook.
Yeah, as I remember,
I saw you once in a while. I'd see you doing something on Facebook.
I think the way it went was some fans contacted me, and I don't remember if we were already friends on Facebook or not, but they were asking questions about the other cast members, and I probably had an email address for you, so I was able to connect with you and connect them with you, and same thing with Greg. But there was one gentleman named Fred Fouché, so big call out to you, Fred. He was the first guy to contact me, and I guess there's this kind of group of fans who have been looking for us. The interesting thing for me is I didn't know I was part of Resident Evil until probably 15 or 20 years later, because when we filmed it in Japan, they called it Biohazard. And
Fred found me as well in 2016.
Have you guys heard from him since, or?
Oh yeah, he likes posts. Yeah. I probably last couple days, I'll bet I got something from him.
I probably already know the answer to this question, but have you heard from or spoken to any of the other cast members?
No. I think there's been a lot of effort made, and I think some people have said they found Inez, who played Jill Valentine. Yeah. I think Jason, who played, I'm sorry, what is Jason's character's name?
Joseph.
Joseph. Jason, who played Joseph. I think someone found an old TV commercial that he was in Japan, but that was the only clue I think anyone's ever found. And I think, Jason, if you're out there, yeah, contact us for sure. And same with you, Inez, and Linda. There's more room here for all of you.
Tell us a little bit about where you each are from, your background, where you've been, how you got started, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so I was born and raised in Tokyo, and went to the American school there. It's an international school. and have also lived in Hawaii and London, New York, Los Angeles, briefly in Virginia Beach. So I kind of like to move around, although at this point in my life I'm kind of ready to settle down. So I've lived in Japan several times, and I went back there to work for my father, who had a business there, and that's kind of when the acting bug really kicked in, and I did a lot of TV commercials and TV shows and films in Japan. I speak Japanese fluently, having been born there. So that was kind of a niche for me there. I did try to do acting in LA and also in San Francisco, but just kind of treated it as a hobby. Had a lot of success, in Tokyo when I was young, but not so much in LA or San Francisco.
You're up, mister.
Me, you.
Oh, over to me. We're going to throw these better, haven't we? Look, I grew up in Australia, basically just an Australian boy growing up, and I then became accepted to Teachers College, to university after I left high school, and became a primary school teacher. And I was just enjoying my life as a primary school teacher and looking for challenges along the way. And one of them was exchange teaching in Japan, because I'd been studying the Japanese language, and I got selected out of they did a cohort of people, interviewed us and said, yep, you've got to go to Japan, Greg. So I went to Japan. I was happily exchange teaching in Japan. It was a 1 year trial only. It was only, I had to sign a contract saying you wouldn't stay there any longer. You had to leave at the end of your year. So I was there, and next thing I'm kind of walking down the street in Roppongi. I was going to visit a friend, and someone came up to me from a casting studio and said, "We want you." And I think they'd already made Barry Burton character for the game, and they were looking for a person that looked like Barry Burton in real life. And to be honest, in Japan there probably weren't too many people looking like Barry Burton, and I was the closest one. Had a red beard, all those kind of things that suited, and that was signed a bit of paper and did the acting course, or did the acting class, or whatever it was, just did the deal. But I didn't know much about it, because I wasn't into acting like Charlie was, so I didn't know to ask the right questions. Yeah. All I asked was, how much are you going to pay me? And
that's the right question.
That's the question I asked.
Always the best question.
And I really didn't know that much about it. I didn't have a big acting background, a bit of amateur drama in my home city of Wagga Wagga. As a teacher every day, you probably act when you get in front of kids to try and sell the message to them. But no acting background at all. And whilst I was in Japan, then I picked up a few other acting bits. I got to be Santa Claus at Disneyland. I was on a couple of Japanese commercials and a Japanese comedy, which a lot of the Resident Evil people have found those clips from those things that I did. So that was really interesting.
I grew up in Alaska, small town called Homer, originally from Minnesota, which is in the middle of the U.S., which is where I live now. Went to school in New York, and after college, I got a job in a software company. A buddy of mine was in Japan, so I went as an adventure, well, not a lark necessarily, but just do something different for a year. 9 years later, I'm still there. Taught English for a while, and then got in, the Japanese use foreigners in media quite a bit, and so I got doing that kind of work. It was interesting, for sure, and fun. And yeah, I didn't remember anything about Resident Evil until 3-4 years ago, when folks started getting in touch with me, like these guys said, and it's been good, reconnecting, and I hope you watching this are finding something interesting to hook into.
Did you guys used to work for the same talent agency? Or?
So I wore two hats at the talent agency. I was like a talent manager,
yeah,
and also a talent, like
yeah.
actor, model, largely because of my language ability. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that it was mainly based off of photo selection. Our office, Inagawa Motoko office, was like the largest one for foreign talent.
Yeah.
And pretty sure I'm correct to say they booked everyone exclusively through that office. And I think they kind of got some guidance from the man in charge of the office was Gen Inayama, and I think he looked through all the photo books of our talent and found the closest matches.
Yeah.
And in my case, it was almost like I was a shoo-in just because I was working there in a way. And then the only other thing I remember about like concept art was when we went to a wardrobe fitting, they had drawings of each character, and we sat down at desks and the drawing was right in front of us. And I just remember thinking, wow, this could be really something great. Like looking at the art of the character. I hadn't really gotten a part that was like juicy like that before.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever think that it would be what it is now? I mean, they've made countless video games, movies.
No, I mean, at the time I thought, wow, this is really cool. And then, you know, I kind of, I was at a transition in life. I met a girl, I got married, I moved to London. It was kind of like not that long after we filmed Resident Evil. It was like one of the last acting jobs I did in Tokyo. And as I said, I didn't even know it was called Resident Evil.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, you know, probably like 20 years later that someone put it all together for me.
So tell us a little bit about playing these roles. How did it impact your lives?
At the time, I mean, you know, it was, like I said, just a really, really fun experience. And it almost felt like it could be a stepping stone to something, you know. But then my life kind of changed in a different direction. And I wasn't even aware of, like, the following, like the cult following that Resident Evil has until that, you know, a few years ago. So it's almost in a way, it feels like, you know, that was maybe up till now like my swan song, like my best moment, and I didn't even know it for a lot of years. And you know, all the fans who have reached out, and you know, I'm sorry I'm not the best at responding to all of you, but you know, I feel the love, you know, coming back after all these years, and it feels like great. It feels really nice, and I'm excited that we can finally maybe give something back to you for all that love.
To be honest, at the time, it was a great few days for me, and I went back to my teaching job. When I came back to Australia, I focused on becoming a school principal, focused on going up the ladder and getting new principalships, and I just put it in the back of my mind and left it there, and had it as one of those things I'd done in my life. It was good. Didn't realise how it impacted upon people, how people loved it as much as what they do, and how the characters impacted upon people. It was only through getting emails I realised how people really enjoyed the character of Barry Burton and thought he was a really good guy, which he was. I thought Barry was a pretty good guy. He was a kind of like a family man. He had good values, and so yeah, it kind of suited me probably as a person. I think they picked a role that was me, with it being a family man, and so I didn't really value it, I don't think, as much as what I should have at the time. It's only in later life now I really value what I did and think, yeah, that was a really good time in my life. It was a good thing to do. Gee, I wonder if it happens if I'd stayed in Japan longer, whether we would have got a second go at it, and how different life would have been. Would they put us in a movie? I don't know, but tell you what, if you're watching and you want to do an old Barry Burton, I'm here for you. And I'm sure Charlie and Eric are as well. We're ready to roll again.
I think he hit on it, that the biggest thing I you know, how it affected me now is you never know what moments of your life will be the ones that you want to remember forever. So it's just to, you know, life is short, and, you know, remember to enjoy and cherish whatever you have going on, because again, you just never know what it might turn out to be, and it was fun.
Do you guys ever have fans recognize you if you're out doing something or whatever, you know, grocery shopping? Or?
I had it once.
Yeah.
When just after I got back to Australia. It would have been in about late 90s. I suppose the game had been out a little while then. And a couple of kids from the school I was at came up and said, "You weren't in a video game, were you?" I went, "Yeah, I was." I went, "Oh, it was you, we were right." And that was the end of it. There was no autograph, there was no anything else, and that was it. Like, must admit, much more attention since 2016 with emails, Facebook messages, whatever?
Yeah, for me, it wasn't a stranger, it was someone I knew. The only person who recognized me from the game was a Japanese guy I used to work for that he was a gamer himself. And he put two and two together and showed me the intro video. And I was like, yeah, that is me. And that was kind of the very first, it was either then or when Fred contacted me, I'm not sure. It was like the first time I realized I put the two together. But I haven't, other than, people emailing me, people friending me on Facebook or Instagram. That's, I've had multiple requests for interviews and to be on podcasts. And sorry, folks, I haven't been very proactive with that. Sorry, Monique Alvarez of the Resident Evil database. I'm sorry.
I have one as well. We're both as bad as each other.
No, it's just Facebook stuff. Sometimes some of my clients' kids will, come along to, because they saw me on Facebook or realized, because they played that game, or they used to. But as far as in the grocery store, like, hey, aren't you? No.
Interesting thing is my neighbour, her children are now in their 30s, and they realised when I said I was coming over here to meet Charlie and Eric again, and I said what we're up to, she mentioned it to her children, and they said, we played that game, we didn't realise it was our neighbour all along, the guy next door to us.
That story.
And they didn't realise that I was their neighbour.
Tell us what it was like filming those couple days. I guess you guys filmed all your stuff for the opening and end credits.
Was it 2 days?
Was it 2 days?
I don't remember exactly how many days, and I know there was, I think the first day we filmed, we were all together, where we did the scenes like running through the grass, and all of us were there. I think on that same day I filmed some interior shots in the, is it supposed to be a mansion or? And there was the scene where there's a close-up of my eye, which is kind of an iconic close-up of my eye. And then I think I only had maybe one other day of shooting where it was the scene where I'm supposed to be in the helicopter. Yeah. And there were, I think, 2 or 3 versions. I'm alone in one. I think I'm with Jill in one. And yeah, maybe it was just those 2.
Yeah, they had alternative endings in the game.
So I think for me it was a total of 2 days, if I remember. But it's so long ago, couldn't say for sure.
Yeah. For me it was 2 days. The first day for me was in a studio with some big green doors, I remember, and like a helicopter frame, or just a bit where you sit in. And I was with Jill. And there was another in that day as well, as where I did the intro, where I'm polishing the gun, I click it up and hold it up. And in the helicopter was Jill. I think that was the only person in the helicopter with me, because one of the lines was, we'll have to go back and get them, or something like that. We can't leave them there, we have to go back and get them. There was no script as such. We were just told what to say. Well, they had a script, but I don't remember ever getting a piece of paper with a script on it. It was just, say this, do another take. And then the second day for me was, second night, we started about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and next to some river or big grass, tall grass.
Yeah.
And, we could run through it, and there was smoke. I had a pistol, someone had a machine gun. I'd rather the machine gun. I got given the pistol. I was a bit annoyed. I wanted the machine gun because I only got 3 shots out of the pistol. It was only a 3-shot pistol with the flash and that in it. And then so I had 3 shots. My day was over. Where the machine gun kept going, and I really wanted the machine gun. And there was a few dogs there, Dobermans, and they were made to look vicious. They put this stuff in their little guide thing in their mouth, which lifted their gums up. And showed their teeth, and it made them look vicious. And when we were running and they were catching me, and they'd lick me to death when they caught me. They really.
So you had real Dobermans on set, okay?
Yeah. All right. I think there was 2.
I didn't know they were real ones. I always thought it was just animatronic.
No, they had real ones on set. I think they also had a dog's head at somewhere, like
right.
Am I right?
Some they had gory stuff.
Yeah, it's just come back to me about the dog's head. I think they had like an imitation dog's head they filmed as well in the dark. But it went all night. I remember we started about 5 in the afternoon when we got there, and I don't think I got home till about 7 the next morning. It was an all-night job.
Running around in the field,
Yeah.
lights flashing, smoke. And we couldn't see anything that we were running from because there was nothing, of course. But yeah, that was chaotic. I mean, it was fun, but it was also, you just sort of random, right? You just kind of run around.
No one knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
We have no idea. Just run through there. Okay, well, shoot the gun. Yeah, I've done it.
If you guys remember, what was it like working with Shinji Mikami? Or did he was he there for filming the live action stuff? Because
I don't know.
yeah,
There was a chance.
Charlie might know. I don't know.
Yeah, I have not 100% recognition of it, but I'm pretty sure the director Shinji Mikami. I think he was at the audition. I think he was at the fitting. I'm pretty sure he was there when we were shooting. It's possible that someone else was directing. Maybe he let his assistant director direct it. I'm pretty sure he was there.
yeah.
And I also recall, I don't remember where I read it, but I think in an interview he later said that he really wished he had gotten real actors. And that kind of hurt my feelings when I read that, Mr. Mikami, just so you know, on the record. But nevertheless, would love to hear from you, Mr. Mikami. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. If you watch this video, Mr. Mikami, we would love to have you on this channel. Have any of you guys ever been approached by Constantine Film, Screen Gem, Sony, any one of those entities that own rights to the films? Have they ever approached you to be in any of their movies in any way, shape, or form?
No, not me.
No?
Duck egg on that one.
Well, that's a shame.
Maybe we're not real actors. If we throw tantrums and drink a lot, maybe we can act like real actors.
Have any of you guys ever seen any of the Hollywood movies?
What?
I watched. I think it was the second film, kind of just as homework before I came. Mila Jovovich. I loved her in The Fifth Element, and I think she's gorgeous, and I think she's a good actress. And I did also just recently. I watched the Netflix animation series. It's like just a 4-episode series.
Yeah, those ones are actually they take place
and-
within the game universe.
Mainly just in preparation for coming here.
Yeah. Have any of you ever played the game or beat it?
No.
No, I've never. Yeah, it's on the PlayStation, right? I think.
Yeah, the very first PlayStation.
Yeah, no, I've never owned a PlayStation. Around that time, like in the 90s, I owned a Nintendo 64.
Okay.
And, sorry if that like puts me on the other side of the fence from PlayStation guys, but wasn't like I was a big gamer. I happened to have that one. And there was this game that I would play like almost every night till 3 or 4 in the morning, which was called Foxfire. And it was like a spaceship, and there was a fox piloting it, and it was just so fun that I would. And so when I left for good, I gave that game console to a friend, and I felt like I was being released from something. It was like, here's your life back. But nothing against I love gaming. I just have a very addictive personality. So.
No, I've never played though. I did look it up and Googled it and saw how the game worked and looked for me running around in the little house and whatever. But I am going to play it because my daughter's husband, or son-in-law, one of his friends at work is a very, very big-time gamer, and he's got the original PlayStation with the original Resident Evil 1 game. And he wants me to sign it when I go visit them next. And he wants a photo, and he wants documentation that I signed it and all that. And he's going to let me play it. Cool. So I'm like,
Very
Well,
cool.
we're gonna have you play it right after
Let's
this.
do it. Yeah. I had a PS2. I didn't have that game. I didn't really know any better, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it.
Have you guys ever played any of the Resident Evil games?
Nope.
Greg, is that your real family in the picture in the game?
I have been asked that so many times. It's one of the big questions I do get asked. And sadly, no, it's not. Not my real family. They must have just superimposed my face over someone else's. And yeah, 'cause it's a big part of the game because Barry is a family man, and at the end he wants to get back to his family. I think he's over the whole mission. His mission's accomplished. He's ticked that box and he just wants to get home. So it is a big part of the game. But no, that's not my family. My family are equally as beautiful, but no, it's not my family.
Well, now the myth has been put to rest. So, do you guys know why Capcom only used your first names in the credits?
So no royalties?
That's a good thought.
I'm sorry, I have no idea.
Don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
They didn't know them, maybe?
Could be.
Yeah,
Oh, you're asking.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
you knew. I thought it was like a...
I have no idea.
If our last names were omitted, I don't think it was for any reason other than either they didn't know them or they just thought it looked better with just our first names.
Or unnecessary, right? Because there's, 4 of us and we all have different names and different characters. So, it's enough to identify. I know, it's a good question though. I don't know.
I guess it ultimately it made it interesting for the fans who were trying to find us because they didn't have our last names and they had to work harder probably.
They did have to work. I take my hat off to our fans who found us because, like, to find Greg in Australia, I think they somehow worked out I came from Australia. But to find me took a lot of work. They actually found as a school principal, we were doing a big charity thing for one of the hospitals. And I was on the front page of the local Wagga Wagga paper with a few of my students doing a thing for the hospital telethon. And they found my picture from that and somehow worked out that was me. That's how they tied it all together from a couple of pictures in the local paper. They tied together that I was the Barry Burton character. So I took my hat off to their ingenuity and their persistence and their everything else they did. They really did well.
The person who did the wardrobe, I think she was also giving some direction, and she had, she seemed to have some clout.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was where I remember.
But whether it was Mitsushima or I'm not sure who was directing, to be honest.
I really wanted a souvenir from it, and I wanted the Barry Burton dog tags because they actually had Barry Burton, the date of birth, and everything on blood group, and I really wanted those, and she wouldn't give them to me.
Who are they going to use it with?
I don't know, next Barry. But I really wanted them.
Oh, they're probably out there somewhere.
Yeah, maybe they just have some strict rules about that kind of stuff.
Maybe Capcom Japan has some kind of museum room or something.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What is so captivating or why the staying power for Resident Evil? All these years, people remember it from their childhood and it had a big impact on them, like kept me from hating myself or like, I mean, I know it's people's transformative years, but I mean, as a gamer, what would you say about that? What is it? What?
So, I mean, for me, a lot of it had to do with the story, the way the game was made, the way the characters interacted with each other. The music was a very big part, especially in like the second and third game. The character development, like your guys' character development, I appreciated what Shinji Mikami did all the way through 4 when he left Capcom. And I know he wasn't like the only one involved with the story throughout the whole process. There were like other directors for other games. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things that it's like Star Wars. Like when you watch Star Wars, you're just instantly hooked. And Resident Evil, I think, is kind of like a cult thing. I think it's been more like mass produced and popularized now, but originally it appealed to a certain group of people, almost like a George Romero zombie film, or like a John Carpenter horror film. So that's kind of really what sold it for me. I mean, I remember, and I'm speaking for myself. I'm sure maybe other Resident Evil fans maybe feel the same way. We all have different experiences, but I started with 3. When I was a kid, my mom rented Dino Crisis, which is another Shinji Mikami game. She rented it from the video store, and it came with a demo of the 3rd game. And ever since then, I was just immediately hooked. And then I started getting into 1 and 2. And then obviously all the ones that came out after 3. I kind of, didn't really care for the stuff that Capcom made after 4. The remakes of 2 and 3 are kind of good because just like Hollywood is doing with everything else, they're just remaking everything. So, of course, it's going to kind of draw you back and bring you back into that world. But now they're on 7 and 8, and I think they're going to be releasing 9 soon. They just recently announced a remake of 4. So they're bringing this nostalgia back, and they're bringing newer fans into the series, which is good. But like I said, for me originally, it was like that appeal meant to like your personality. And that's why I think it became a cult classic with so many people.
So you had enough of a character that you could identify with it and,
Yes.
kind of root for him or, I see.
It was the first game too, wasn't it, with real people in it? That's why it was such a big deal at the time when they were making it. They kept saying it's one of the first games to ever have going from the character on the screen to a real person.
The animation.
Yeah, animation. That's what I'm after. I'll get it right. Animation to a real person.
I don't know. It's just one of those things that sticks with you for a lot of years. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
So, how old were you when you first rented a Resident Evil game? Like, just
Jeez.
approximately.
So Dino Crisis came out in '99. How old was I? I had to have
And
been
that's
like
20,
10.
23 years ago.
Yeah.
So, like 10 years old.
Yeah. Thanks,
And-
Mom.
Impression.
Thanks for renting that game for me. Now look
And
where I'm at.
did they even have ratings for games, like for
Yeah,
age
they're
then?
like rated M. All these games are rated M, and then
But your mom still let you play it.
yeah.
That's good.
Thanks, Mom. You're watching. Yeah, they had rated M. They got rated T for teen, rated E for everyone.
Did you have to like finish your homework and eat all your supper to be able to play, kind of thing, or could you just like go back in your room and just play whenever you wanted? Or
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, I always made sure I got all my stuff done, but I would try to sneak and play every now and again. I also like I like to go outside and play basketball with friends and stuff like that too. Growing up, but a lot of times it was like during the evenings I would play.
do you dream about it sometimes?
No, believe it or not, no. I don't really ever have dreams about anything.
Yeah, it's interesting the amount of people that will tell you it helped them through their growing
yeah,
up.
it's just some kind of alchemy of,
Yeah, and
might have to watch it with a different eye and then kind of pick
there's
up on that.
one fellow even texted me and said it really helped him as a child. He helped me through my teenagerhood. I'm really happy I did. I don't know how I helped you, but I'm really happy I helped you.
Yeah, the typical message I get is like, oh gosh, I played that game when I was whatever 10, 11, 12 years old, and you're such a big part of my childhood memories, and I haven't had people telling me like it helped them get through hard times or anything, but just so many people that are thanking me for playing the character and how important a part it was in their life, and
Yeah.
and I had no idea. So hearing that all these years later, it's kind of really very nice, like satisfying sort of feeling. Let me ask you this: Did you ever think that you would get us here?
Oh, I didn't. I mean, I sent you guys out a message, but I was thinking like, I'm sure they get like 15,000 messages a day kind of thing. I wasn't really expecting anything. And this thing we're doing, it was kind of like last minute, and I mean, it's crazy. You guys are all here last minute, especially flying all the way from Australia.
I was just joking. I said, "Oh yeah, I'll get there."
Yeah. So what kind of inspired me was we're on the set of The Keeper's Diary, a teaser trailer that I'm making in hopes to make a full short film based off of The Keeper. After Welcome to Raccoon City came out, and I know there's fans that like the movie. I personally did not like the movie, and it kind of motivated me to do this. And, I don't mean to rip on the movies in any way, because I know, people work hard on movies, And this is something I've always wanted to do. And like I said, it kind of motivated me to do this. And I was like, why don't I just reach out to these guys and see what they say? And I couldn't believe it. They're all here. So
Be careful what you wish for.
I guess so.
Just give us more warning next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there's a next time. So we'll see.
I would like to say thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for getting us
Thanks a
back
lot.
together.
Yeah, really nice. It's been
And
great.
thank you for all the work you've put in. You've worked really hard.
Thank you.
And all your friends here as well.
Well, thank you.
It's been a really great experience.
It's truly special. You guys are, legacy. I can't tell you more than enough how awesome it is. You guys already know how much I appreciate you guys being here. So, but yeah. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please let us know what you thought in the comments down below. And of course, please share and like this video. Inez, Linda, Jason, and Shinji Mikami, if you're watching this video, we would definitely love to have you on the channel. So please feel free to reach out to us if you're interested. And don't forget to check out the teaser trailer for The Keeper's Diary, A Biohazard Story. It's something you won't want to miss. Charlie here, he comes back to the whole Resident Evil series in a different way, and he plays the Keeper. So you won't want to miss that. And also, this is a teaser trailer, and we are trying to make a full short film. And if you want to see a full short film made out of this video, please go ahead and check out our concept video. It's essentially what the short film would look like, but it's kind of like a storyboard animatic with like actual sound effects and all that good stuff. And anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.